Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Angie. We're really excited to have you. We kind of opened this up to anybody that wanted to get on. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate.
Sure. So I got my license right at 14 years ago, and I always remember that date because I was 7 months pregnant sitting in real estate school. That was quite miserable, by the way. But before that, I was working for Manpower as a staffing assistant, just something kind of filling a void, not quite sure what I want to do in my life, to be honest with you. Thought about real estate when I got my license. So got my license, 14 years ago, then decided to open up my team back in 2013. And in 2016, decided to go independent. And yeah, here we are.
Awesome. And just give us a little bit, just like, so people put in perspective, like how much did y'all do last year? Kind of what's the structure of your team right now?
Sure. So last year we closed 399 units for about like 140 million. Last year we had, I believe it was 8 or 9 producing agents doing those numbers. In Q4 of 2020 and then Q1 of this year, we did bring on a lot more agents. I decided to 100% step out of production. So when I was pregnant with the twins last year, they told me to pretty much stop working. And so I was forced out of production, but I said, you know what, this is the perfect opportunity to try this again, to step back and focus on more of managing, growing the team, and assisting, agents where needed. So we did add a lot of new team members, just recently. But that was, of course, to kind of fill my spot and then also to push us forward. So we now have, there's 26 total team members, including we have an ISA, we have an amazing admin team, and we also have a runner who's fabulous as well.
Awesome. So tell us how you built your business and like kind of what your main sources of business are.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I did not spend a dollar on advertising. So I strictly use social media, which I know a lot of y'all have done an amazing job at that as well. I strictly use social media to build my clientele base. So it's as easy as talking about your day. And I always tell people jokingly, even if you have nothing going on, pretend like you do. Because who wants to work with an agent who's doing no business? So make up some stuff here and there, but talk about your day, post a lot of pictures. Once you start actively working with clients, ask for permission, but take pictures of them, become their friends on social media, tag them. But that's 100% how I started from, really nothing. And then the business just continued to grow because other people will start recommending you. They see on social media that, oh, you help such and such, I need help too. And your clients can be your biggest fans, especially on closing day, because you post a picture, you tag them, they, say how amazing you were to work with. Everyone is then posting below the post. And then at the very end, I kind of wait a day or two. And then I say again, thank you so much for, allowing me to be your agent, da, da, da. So everyone gets notified. So yes, I strictly started on social media, not spending a dollar. Of course, as time has gone on, we do spend a lot in marketing, but the biggest thing is we watch our numbers. And you have to really, really pay close attention to your numbers. So, we're checking those on a monthly basis to make sure that the lead sources that we're spending on are profitable. So we spend like crazy, but we're definitely profitable with all those lead sources. But we've tried things in the past that haven't worked. So some things that we spend on, for example, we do Google pay-per-click, which might be the most inexpensive lead source out there. Last year, for every dollar spent, we made $10, which is crazy. But those are a lot of, I would say with those lead sources, by the way, those are not as easy to convert because they're a little bit confused as far as why you're calling them and how you got their information. It's not like a realtor.com or Zillow lead where they click a button to say, hey, someone call me. We also do a decent amount of spend with realtor.com. That would be our other big main lead source that we spend on. Realtor.com has been great for us. Us personally, Zillow hasn't been that wonderful. We get Zillow leads from our reviews, but not necessarily from our spend. I seem to find that realtor.com and Zillow can be like market specific. Some areas they do great, and other areas not so great. Those are our biggest lead sources as far as what we spend on. But we, of course, we love on our past clients, our current and past clients. We actually have a client appreciation this weekend. And so a lot of our business is repeat business, referrals from past clients. We also get a lot of business from referral from agents in other areas, but that's again by being prominent on social media. You just become like a known name, and so they feel comfortable with sending people your way.
Awesome. And just so people know, like if y'all have a question, y'all can type it in the chat or speak up. I mean, we want this to be interactive. So I'm curious because I know you do a ton of referral and past client business, which is amazing. How do y'all stay in touch with your past clients? How do you love on them to kind of generate those referrals, repeat business?
Yeah. So at our, we call it like a getaway, like team retreat, which a lot of you do before the upcoming year, we actually take that time when we plan out the whole entire year. So we do monthly contests with our past clients. So like, hey, post a picture. This one is April showers brings May flowers. Post a picture, a pretty picture of your landscaping. At random, someone will win $100 gift card to your local flower shop. Just fun little games people can play. So we do that monthly with our past clients to keep them engaged. We then, of course, we do client appreciations. We typically do like 2 big client appreciations. Of course, with COVID, that's kind of moved around and we've changed up what we've done. But last year, for example, which we will do it again this year, we did a photo session and everyone loved that. Like we went to Joyner Park and we just paid for professional photographers to come out. And so people for free, they got their family photos. So that was actually a really big hit. And that was the first year we did that. Tomorrow we're hosting again at Joyner Park and we're just doing a picnic in the park. We have a DJ, which actually our ISA, he's actually a legit DJ. So he's going to play some music. We have a lot of fun games like Race Your Realtor, and we have popcorn machines, candy, cotton candy, all that fun stuff. So 2 big client appreciations. We also do other like pop buys. What are some things we do? We send out cookies to everyone on Valentine's Day, buy Cheryl's cookies. We do, I'm trying to think, of course, we do Christmas cards. We send out settlement statements for anyone who have closed. We do the pie pickups around Thanksgiving. So we're doing a lot of stuff to touch our clients just to stay in front of them. Of course, it costs a little bit of money, but the return on that is huge. That's the best return you can get is loving on your past clients.
Angie, before you started bringing in a lot more money, and obviously now you get a pretty big return, what were you doing in the beginning to keep up with people? So like some of the newer agents, what would you suggest to them?
Yeah, phone calls and handwritten cards. So, which we still do. We also have a plan whenever a client closes with us, where we are touching them even a year after, something so simple as a handwritten card. So, you can do this on your own, but one of our closing managers, whoever has that file, they'll write a handwritten card to them immediately. And then they go ahead and pre-address out a handwritten card for a year. And we just stack them away in a folder. So when the year is approaching, we also do birthday cards as well. Again, we just make sure we have the birthday card whenever it's time for closing. They pre-address those. So it's just easy every single month. You don't have to send it exactly on the day, just send it at the beginning of the month, send that out. And then again, phone calls are the easiest thing you can do. If you have a smaller client base, set a goal to call them every single quarter. And I think people always feel like it can be super awkward, but honestly, it's not. I mean, all you have to do is just want to check in. How are things going with your home? It's the easiest phone call. Hey, do you need any type of vendor services? Do you need a landscaper? And then always in the conversation saying, hey, by the way, do you know of anyone looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate? Don't say, if you know of anyone, think of me, because they'll say, okay, like put them on the spot and say, do you know of anyone looking to buy or sell that I should be in touch with? And stuff. Make them think. And even if they don't, then get their permission. Well, if you do know someone, blah, 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 blah. So always follow it up with asking for referral. And don't feel awkward about that either, because they want to help you. So, and you can even call them and say, hey guys, I have a goal to help this many clients this month. Like, do you know of anyone that I should be in touch with? So ask for help, but calls and handwritten notes.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah. How do you get your what type of lead gen does your team do? Do they do you hold them accountable to doing these same things?
So we don't have any metrics as far as like accountability for our team. But they all, of course, they have their own goals. Now we do have a requirement on our team of, hitting 24 transactions a year. I wouldn't say that's a hard and fast like rule, but everyone knows that that's the goal. And as long as someone's trying to put everything forth and they're a great cultural fit, that's what's important. So it's more of, are you hitting that goal? And if you're not, let's talk about that individually as far as what we can do differently. So, there's some people that are dialing away in our database. We have Mojo Dialer if they want to use that, that are calling on leads. There's other people, I really don't see much lead generation happening in our database, but they're closing transactions. So I think it just depends on the individual as far as what's needed. Everyone's conversions rate's a little bit different too. So, one person can call 10 people and immediately get a hot prospect. The next person, it might take 20 calls. So we don't do any set requirements with dials or lead gen. It's just more of, are you hitting your goal? If you're not, let's talk about ways to help you to achieve that. And everyone's goal is different, right? Like we kind of set a minimum expectation of what we expect within our team, just because we know we have enough business coming in to meet those numbers. But, there's other people that have very, very lofty goals. Hey, I want to close 50 this year. I want to close 100 this year. So it depends on their goals, and, different activities, of course, would be needed to hit those goals.
Awesome. What was that? I had something I was going to ask you. Oh, reviews. Actually, Janie asked, how do y'all get reviews? You have a ton of Google reviews, I know.
Yep.
So how do you help, what's your process there?
Yeah. So whenever we have in our CRM that we use, of course, like an action plan or drip campaign, whatever you want to call it. But whenever someone goes to closing, we are asking for reviews. We send out 3 automated emails that will ask them to write a review on Zillow, write a review on Google. And so that has been super helpful. If there's even been anyone that you have worked with, and even if they didn't close on a home, still ask them, hey, will you please write a review? Just, talking about our service. If you feel like I did a great job for you, please write me a 5-star review. Of course, ask your vendors, all of them for reviews. So just really think outside of the box as far as who you can get reviews from. Referral agents, people that, you've helped them, they've helped you, vice versa. Like ask everyone, like, hey, if you feel like we did a great job as far as our business relationship, write us a review. Reviews are huge, y'all. Like I said, I mean, we spend, I think, $300 a month right now with Zillow, like nothing. But we get a lot of calls from Zillow strictly because of our reviews. Same thing with Google. Many people just search for real estate agent in Raleigh. And if you pop up with, close to the top with reviews, that's going to help you. So yeah, reviews are huge.
Okay, so what do you think is like your biggest mistake you've made in your real estate career? And then what have you learned from that?
Yeah, I'd have to say 2 things. First, which I kind of hit on previously, would be not watching your numbers, especially when you start to spend on any type of lead source or lead generation. One time I decided, not it could work for someone, but I was a big name on the Durham Bulls, like the banner, and it was super, super expensive. And all of a sudden the contract was up and there was not one lead that I could track back to Durham Bulls game. So that was an expensive lesson to learn. And so make sure that you're really paying attention to where you're spending in that return, because that's important. And then I would say the biggest mistake is once you do start adding to your team, is bringing on people who are not a good fit culturally wise, like just the personalities don't mesh or not a positive. The worst thing you can have is someone on your team who is not positive, because it really brings down the rest, who talks drama, who just, so it doesn't matter. There's been, I can think of like 2 people that we unfortunately parted ways, and they were amazing people. They did really strong numbers. They were, great in their role, but they brought the whole team down. And it was, whenever they were no longer with the team, it was honestly a sense of relief for everyone, because it was like, okay, like, is that now a happy environment again? And we can focus on what we're here for. So making the wrong hires that aren't a good culture fit is definitely a big mistake.
speaking of culture, like describe your team culture. I know you do a lot with all of your agents and your admin staff, and just how do you keep people on board and like, motivated and kind of, because you have really great retention, which is amazing in this business. So what do you contribute to that?
Thank you. So first of all, it is making sure personality fits. You feel like, okay, this person would fit well with the team, where they'll just like, okay, be another team member. And we have a different mix of personalities. So I'm not saying that everyone has to be the same way, but you just want to make sure that you feel like they will mesh within the team. We have an ongoing, so we do everything through WhatsApp. I know other people have different, texting apps or whatever, but we have groups within there. And so one of the groups, our main group, just the Equal Realty group, is an ongoing shout out like place for like new contracts. Someone did something amazing, like, someone given another person like, just a shout out, like whatever it is. Like, I think that's really important to really drive everyone and just keep everyone excited and motivated. It's also a little bit of friendly competition, which is good too. It's like such and such got one under contract. I bet the next person's like, shoot, why are they selling like 2 homes this month and I've sold none? Like, if they can do it, I can do it. So, and it's not a bad thing, it's positive because it's driving everyone along. So I think that's great. We have another separate group on the WhatsApp, the chat WhatsApp, where we call it Corona, but it was when Corona hit, but we put beers up there instead of like, the nasty flu. And that's more of a fun group. So people sending memes, people sending funny stuff, like what are they doing throughout the day? So they've all become like best of friends. And even outside of work, people are hanging out. Our admin, we don't require them to come in the office, but the exact same people here every single day because they love each other. So just keeping that communication going. We also do things like, let's see, we do team outings. We try to do one team outing a quarter, which is super important because especially we all live busy lives. Some people are here in the office, other people we never see. So it's a great time for everyone to get back together. We do things like, for example, we just had everyone at my house for a surprise, like award ceremony, and we had a food truck. We will take up, pontoon boats out on Falls Lake. We've done the axe throwing. So just different fun activities that everyone can do. We all can kind of let loose and have a good time. We also do things like we do monthly competitions within the team. It could either be the whole team. I could split up the group. We could do individual goals. Like this month, we're doing an individual goal. Agents must put 3 under contract. Our ISA must set 35 appointments. The admin must bring 1 referral to the team or an outbound referral. If they hit their individual goal, they get to spin the money wheel. So every single month we have the money wheel spinning. In the money wheel spinning, by the way, we have different numbers on there, anywhere from, I think it's like $10 up to $100. They spin the dice. If they spin or roll a 6, they get to spin it 6 times, and then that's what everyone wins, and we get everyone a gift card. They could win $100, but they don't care. It's a big deal that you get to spin the wheel, right? And it's fun. So, and it's also, again, friendly competition, especially when it's team against team. I mean, it is smack talking like crazy, and it's really, really funny. And so, yeah, so just keeping it fun. Other things we do, and I don't remember who I stole this idea from, but it wasn't my idea. A Deets on Peeps, and we created our own form. Whenever someone joins the team, they fill out this form about favorite this, favorite that. And, it's great just to randomly like get people gifts off their sheet. And our whole admin group here, whenever it's someone's birthday, we always put money towards it. And one person goes out and they create this ginormous basket for that person's birthday, but it's all their favorite things. So, just love on your people and do, random things for them too, when they least expect it, I feel like is very, very important.
I love that. I mean, it's just kind of like, that's like it's in a business in itself almost. Like they're kind of like your client, you're trying to keep them happy. So just loving people is so important.
Yep.
So Dylan asked, you mentioned agent to agent referrals, and he wants to be more intentional with referrals in his business. So he wants to know, do you have a database or a system built around referrals and like build or nurture those relationships to keep, I guess, stay top of mind?
Yeah, we don't, but that's actually, Dylan, that's an amazing idea. And we've thought about it never proactively went after it. Now, if someone continues to send us business, I'm like, okay, time to send, for example, Ashley Sanders, who now lives in Florida, time to send her some strawberries or, something bigger. Let me send them some type of fruit arrangement. We always send, so when it comes to a referral, whether it be from an agent or just a past client or a friend, we always send them something. Right now we're sending out a cookie from Cheryl's Cookie. So it costs like $7-8. A cookie randomly shows up in their mailbox. Thank you so much for thinking of us. It's not even the fact that we close the referral. We haven't gotten to that point. It's just for thinking of us. So we're always thanking the people for the referral. But when it comes to the agents, if, all of a sudden, like, okay, we've gotten 2 and 3 referrals from you, let's think of something bigger that we can do for them. So I do feel like we probably should do a better job of putting something more, kind of secure in place. But honestly, we don't. Yeah, we do keep in touch. It is important to keep the referral agents that are sending you business, keep them up to date on your clients. I think that's what's most important. Even if maybe the buyer decided to move to another area, so you didn't close that, potential prospect, it's important that you kept the referral up to date so it doesn't look like you dropped the ball. So the agent has that responsibility, but we've actually put that responsibility on one of our admin as well, where she sets herself a task in the CRM to follow up with every single referral. And so that's, hey, she gets a check-in from the agent. Where's this person at? So then she can go back to the referral agent. So they're probably already doing it, but she's doing it as well. And then for referrals, for referrals that we send out, she's also in charge, of course, to check in with them just to follow up to make sure that the referral is being taken care of. But just keeping the referring agent up to date, I think, is what's most important. So they trust you, so they get paid.
Absolutely. So I have a couple questions. How do you keep yourself motivated? Well, let's start there. I have a couple questions.
Yeah. Personally, I don't need that. I'm one of those people that I'm never, which might be a little bit of a fault of mine, but I'm never like satisfied with doing the same thing that I did yesterday or last month or the year before. So I love coming to work. I'm in the office every single day, pushing myself forward. So I don't struggle with that, but I know a lot of people do. So I think you need to give yourself kind of a pat on the back when something great happens. So, maybe you put a home under contract, like, okay, go do something for yourself. Be okay with going and buying yourself a present. So I think that's important to really focus on your wins, especially in today's market, because there's a lot of, losses right now. So really focus on those wins to keep you motivated and push you forward. And then also, I know we just did a panel recently and they chat about this, but it's so true, is surround yourself with other like-minded people that are also in the business that truly understand the business too, and push each other along. It can be a great place to complain, but then it's like, all right, we got this. So I think you need to surround yourself with like-minded people. That's really important as well. Positive ones.
Absolutely. So how do you kind of manage your work-life balance? Because you're a mom of 4 kids, you're married, you have a husband, and you're running this massive team. So how do you kind of juggle that? And also, how do you avoid burnout?
Sure. I do have to say I'm in a different position now, to where it's a lot easier to manage that. So I come to the office, I leave every day to pick up my daughter now at like 3 o'clock. And then, no matter what, I'm done with work by 5. In the evening here and there, I answer a call from one of the agents, help out here and there, but I have a lot more control over my schedule because I'm now more in the office and I'm not out showing homes and going on appointments. So I think the biggest way to manage that work-life balance, if you are, of course, actively in the business, is you need to be okay with having your time. And you don't have to tell your client that, oh, well, I have a dinner tonight, or just say, I have an appointment. It doesn't matter if your appointment is to go get nails. You have an appointment and you need to make time for yourself as well, because you will get burnt out. If you work all weekend long nonstop, take off Monday and be okay with taking off Monday. I feel like in this business, there's always something to be done or to be completed. Like I leave every single day. I'm like, oh, didn't get that done. But you know what? It's okay. I completed the most important items. And so maybe focus on writing a list of these are the most important items for the day. If I accomplish these, I had a wonderful day, and be okay with now I can like turn it off for the evening. Because, you know, some things can wait. And it's all about, of course, setting expectations with your clients as well. You speak with a client on the phone, chat about a home search or whatever, say, okay, great. By tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I'll have that home search to you. It doesn't need to be by today at 5, you know, because then you're putting too much pressure on yourself. And of course, random fires and things can pop up here and there, and then you're totally stressed out. So maybe set that expectation to give yourself some more time so you're not running around like crazy. Yeah, and just be purposeful about taking time for yourself and for your family. Set those, people talk about time blocking, and you know, I'm not honestly the best person about putting things on my calendar, but honestly, if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. So put your appointments on your calendar and put the appointments for yourself on your calendar as well.
I love that. I have an appointment. You don't need to know what it is, but I have
Exactly.
an appointment.
Yes. You need to do for you as well. Or it's not fun anymore, right? I mean, I personally, I enjoy work and I love real estate, but I mean, I don't want to do it like 24/7. So take time for yourself.
What about, I know you are very self-motivated, all that, but like, how do you kind of set goals? And I think you have a coach, so talk to us a little bit about that. Do you think that's important, and kind of how do you set your goals?
So I first of all, every single year at the beginning of the year, we set a big goal for the team. And then let's try to break that down of what that means. You know, again, my rules kind of changed a little bit where I'm not in production anymore, but when you're in production, you know, setting those goals for yourself, it's okay, this is our big goal. Now let's like wiggle it down. And what does that mean? What do I need to accomplish or achieve to hit, you know, that small goal? Well, to put a home under contract, I probably might need to lead generate. So let's set a goal and start off small. Like I want to lead generate 1 hour a day. Let's now bump it up to 2 hours a day. So whatever is needed to hit that big goal. But don't get like overwhelmed by staring at that big goal. And then it's like, well, where do I start? So yeah, accomplish the big things, check it off whenever you completed it. Like again, give yourself something, whatever it is, like spoil yourself. I do think coaching is super important. I took a stop from coaching just for the time being, but I do that here and there. Sometimes I kind of almost feel like I get burned out and I have too much going on that it can add a little bit of extra stress to myself. But although I'm not like coaching with one person, I am actively reaching out to other heavy hitters in our market, in like just across the US, like, hey, how are you doing this? Da, da, da. So, you know, coaching doesn't necessarily need to come from just one individual. It can be from a lot of different people and a lot of different ideas. I had a call, I mean, actually just 2 days ago with an amazing agent. He has several offices, does well over 1,000 transactions a year. He's out of Charleston, and he was telling me all about their mortgage company. So, you know, to me, that's a coaching call. Like I'm learning exactly what is he doing? How can I implement this? He's giving me ideas. So I do think coaching is super important because it also holds you accountable. You know, you shouldn't, I personally feel like you shouldn't need someone to tell you like, all right, you got to make your calls today. Like you need to have enough motivation that this is the job that you want to do, because those are the actions that are needed in order to accomplish your goal. But coaching is more of like a mindset thing. And like, okay, you're overwhelmed with this. Let's talk through like, what can we take off your plate? What things are time wasters? So I feel like a great coach is someone who talks you through your everyday business and life. And, you know, what are you doing? What can we change? How can we work smarter versus harder? I feel like that's a good coach. If you need an accountability coach, just like have your, like, I don't know, set a goal for yourself that you have to pay your worst enemy like $100 if you don't like make calls this week. Like, you know, I don't think you need to have someone like, you got to make calls. I mean, that's silly. We're all grown adults.
Angie, you mentioned, well, some of you who don't know, Angie is not a KW agent. So this is a KWYP call, but Angie's not a KW,
and I do
right? Yeah, and you started there. And so you kind of, you know, you understand that culture, but yeah, we did that strategically because yes, there's a ton of people in KW who have a lot to offer our chapter members and our non-chapter members. But Angie, you touched on the same thing, that you reach out to local people, to non-local people. You're an independent brokerage at this point, so you're probably talking to all sorts of people. What has that done for you specifically to talk to people who aren't, with a specific brokerage in one area?
Yeah. And I did that even when we were with KW, I would do that, don't get stuck in a box as this is the only way of doing things. Prime example, and everyone has their way of doing things, and one person can be successful doing it the exact same way another person did, and maybe they weren't as successful at it. For example, even when we were with Keller Williams, I didn't do buyer consultations in person. And I started off doing those and I just wasn't converting. And so I just said, you know what, let me talk to you on the phone for 10 minutes. I'm really not going to tell you anything about myself. I'm just jumping straight in about you, what you need to know. And for us, that's work. So, Keller Williams, I absolutely adore Keller Williams. And if someone's not a great fit for our team, I always try to connect them with a team leader in Keller Williams. But there's so many different ideas and moving parts of real estate, and just connecting with the most people possible, and even outside of your firm, I feel like is very, very important, because there's so many different great ideas. The market's ever changing, just trying to implement little things here and there. You can't do it all, but just grabbing little pieces, I feel like is just super important. And I think it's also really neat to chat with people outside of our area, because I think we all are like, oh my God, this market is insane. But, I was talking to an agent, and this was now probably 3-4 months ago, even before it got super crazy here. They were already making offers, or actually she was represented on the seller side on two of them. I remember she said one went 50,000 over, one went 100,000 over. And in that moment, we didn't even have that yet. And so we think we have it hard. Like, other people are struggling even more than we are dealing with these insane markets. So I think that can be, it can be almost a sense of relief to chat with other people outside of your market to see what type of struggles and things are they dealing with, because we all are going through this together. And I think it might make you feel a little bit better. And it also, the conversations that it can allow you to have with either your team or also your clients as well. Like, this is not just market specific here. Like, we're all dealing with this, da 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 da. So it's just a great education, I guess, point as well. So.
Speaking of the market we're in, what are y'all doing to kind of keep your buyers motivated, and then also your buyer agents motivated with the market that we're in right now?
Yeah. So first of all, to keep our buyers motivated is being really honest and transparent with them up front. So I think you do right out of the gates, speaking with your buyer clients, you need to tell them how ridiculous of a market it is, right? You need to tell them we probably will make more than one offer and before we actually go under contract. So I don't think that you need to paint this pretty picture that, okay, let's talk about your search. Let's go look at a home. You have 25 to choose from, pick one, we'll go under contract, because that's not the market we're in. So being real with your clients, setting the expectations, sharing examples of other clients that you showed in that area and that price point, what it took for them to win an offer. I think that's important, because then you're setting the stage that, okay, like you need to have some strong skin here, because more than likely the first offer you make will not win. So I think that's how you can keep them motivated, is just being real with them in the beginning. So they're not expecting something different. Like, oh, this is exciting because it's crazy right now, right? So yeah, set those expectations up front, use examples. And then I'm stealing this from someone, like I mentioned on that panel the other day. And Janie, I think it was the girl with your team who mentioned they had, what is the meeting? There was a name for it at the end, whenever an offer is not a regroup meeting. Yeah. And so what they're doing is, an offer is not accepted. Let's hop on a call. When can we have a regroup meeting? And the regroup meeting is, this is maybe why we didn't win our offer, da 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 da. But this is what you're doing moving forward. This is what I'm doing moving forward. So it's immediately switching that, oh my gosh, I lost out on an offer, to a positive thing, and we're moving forward. We're moving past it. What can we learn from this experience? So I love that idea that Janie's team, that they do as far as the regroup conversation. And then as far as our agents, keeping them positive, everyone I know is beyond stressed with the market, but I bring up a lot, and I compare this year to several years ago when I was actively in the business. And I would tell them, I remember this one person, Kermit Rayman, love him to death. I seriously showed the guy 75 homes before he finally went under contract. Okay. 75 single family homes. He wouldn't listen to me. Finally showed him like a luxury townhome. He bought it and went under contract, but he only wanted to live in a single family home. But think about the running around and the time invested into that. So I know we all get just frustrated with this market and they're like, oh my gosh, I lost another one. But remember, you're going to show one home and you lose it. Remember the time I invested into showing this one guy 75 homes, and I'm not making that up, 75 homes before he finally went under contract. So I think you need to like think about, yes, it's crazy market right now, but we're actually putting in less time right now driving clients around than what we maybe did in the past to get them under contract. So it's just a different time in a different way. But also try to like focus on your numbers too. I know you feel like you're running around crazy right now, but what I just actually did this week is I sent to every single one of our agents, I showed them their numbers last year versus their projected numbers for this year. Every single person was ahead of where they were last year. It might not feel that way, but they are. One big thing to focus on too is your average price point. I bet everyone's average price point is up. So the market has done that for you. So then look at that as far as, okay, what's my projected volume? This is what you've done year to date. So for example, I just did it on 5/15 or whatever. No, not 5/15. Well, we're right at half of the month, but it was 4.5 months of business production. This is what you closed. This is what you're pending. I then took that divided by 4.5, then multiplied times 12. But I looked at their average price point and I said, even if you did one or two less transactions because your average price point, you're making at or more. So, don't always just focus on the unit. It's amazing when all of a sudden your average price point goes way up because you actually can work less and make the same, if not more money. So looking at your numbers and putting that out there, I think has kept the agents motivated as well. Because it is frustrating when you're losing a lot of offers, right?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So Chris Barr was asking, was building a business this, I think he meant like this big or your team this big, like, was it a goal or did it happen organically?
No, was not a goal. So I started off in real estate in new construction. New construction is wonderful for some people, not so wonderful for others. For me, I was never placed in a great neighborhood. So I would sit there just twiddling my thumbs as far as where's the people at. And so I decided new construction was not the best place for me personally. I just felt like I was capped off and, I couldn't make the income I had hoped to make. So then from there, I joined, a team. That team wasn't, for whatever reason, they're an amazing team, love the team, and I could throw them out there. Ashley Wilson, she's one of my best friends. I actually joined her team and something in me was not happening. I don't know why. Ashley almost got out of real estate. And that's my fault, not Ashley's. Ashley has an amazing team. Then from there, I joined another team. I was strictly a buyer specialist, loved what I was doing, making a wonderful income. And I was a little bit forced. I felt, well, not, I wouldn't say I was forced to start my own team, but I was just looking at my numbers and I realized that a lot or most of the business I was doing was personal business. And so at that point, it didn't make sense for me to be on a team. That's one thing I think about when running a team is, I need to make sure that I'm giving back as well, right? Like there's a reason why our team members, they split their commission with our firm, right? Because I'm giving back to them. I'm helping them to grow. We create this leverage. I'm making their job easier. I'm providing them with a lot of business and leads. So it's a win-win. So honestly, I was very, very happy being on a team because all I had to worry about was myself. That was amazing, right? Love my team, but I mean, I didn't, have anyone to coach or to, hire, fire. I mean, those are not fun conversations to have. But it just naturally, I guess, kind of like happened because looking at my numbers, it made most sense. And then, but yeah, so that was not a goal of mine. No, that was long-winded.
So Patrick Madigan was asking, are you still doing a podcast and what return have you seen from that?
Yeah, so we still do the radio show. I've been doing that for, I think about 3 to 4 years. So we do a radio show. By the way, it's pre-recorded, so I'm giving out that secret. I'm not sitting there on Saturday at noon at a radio station. And as far as being pre-recorded, I actually sit right here in my office and I do it. So I'm not even in the station recording. And then the radio show is converted into a podcast. Okay. So they take pieces out of the radio show and they make it then into a podcast that someone could listen to for about 20 minutes. And we also post it, on our blog and stuff. Patrick, when it comes to the radio show, the way I looked at it is as long as I'm breaking even, to me, it made sense because of the brand awareness. So there's certain lead sources I feel like they must be profitable. For example, realtor.com, but something like if you're deciding to do billboard or a podcast or a radio show, to me, the brand awareness is just as important as the profit you make from it. So as long as we're breaking even, we're good. So now from the radio show, it's hard to track, to be honest with you, as far as exactly where a lead came from when it comes to like radio show where they saw you driving by a billboard or whatnot. So it's hard, but we do try to dig deep to understand, well, how did they really make it to our website? Was it from the radio show? And that has solidified people for us before. They said, well, I was searching online, I found you online, but also, I heard your radio show as well. So I can't say that we've been hugely profitable from the radio show because it's hard to track, but I know that we're at least breaking even. Okay. Of course, make sure that people you're sending business to, they're helping you as well. So we have our vendors that are actively involved that help to take care of a huge amount of that cost for a lot of the lead sources.
Awesome.
Angie, that just gave me an idea. Hey, it's Patrick. I've got a new client intake form that I send out, and it's just a Google form, and we've changed the header, and it's all branded and it looks official. And I made a Bitly link so I can text it. So if I get a new client text, hey Patrick, here's a whole paragraph of why I want to buy a house. And if I'm at a Durham Bulls game, I say, great, fill out this link. I'll call you tomorrow. And you gave me an idea. So thank you. I'm going to add on there. How did you hear about us? And like check all that apply, because it's probably going to be a friend, right?
Yep.
Or maybe you also listen to the radio show, web search, Durham Bulls, billboards, whatever it was you're saying, stuff like that. So thanks. I appreciate that. That's something I haven't thought to add in there. That way I can know what's working and what's not, and kind of what to add more dollars and more effort behind.
Patrick, that's a mistake I made in the past. We weren't tracking our lead sources. And so all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I spent all this money in marketing and I have no idea where these leads actually came from. So even when they directly flow into our CRM, they could sign up on our website. But after further conversations, we could actually find out, oh, you know what? They heard us on the radio. So then they went to our website. We changed that lead source. So we now have it broken down exactly. Like we have a spreadsheet. Well, we use Sisu for tracking, but also certain numbers that we like to see at all times. We have those on a spreadsheet, but I could tell you exactly in 2021, exactly how many closed deals were from each lead source. So that's super important to do, and start that early. Yeah.
Yeah. And sorry, did you say that you ask that question like on a phone call, or you have a place where they can input it on a web form?
So on the web form, it's not there. That's a smart idea. When people sign up on our website, it will flow into our CRM as being a website sign up. So then it's a conversation of digging a little bit deeper.
Okay, cool.
And a lot of times it just randomly will come up in conversation that, oh, well, I also because people can get your website by so many different ways. It could be a past client told them about you. Well, that's not a website lead. That's a past client referral, right? So just asking that extra question, hey, how did you initially hear about our team? Easiest question, but it's huge when it comes to focusing on, where you're profitable with lead sources. Do I need to love on my past clients even more because they're sending me so much business? That's smart.
Yeah. And it's funny. I had a past client, a referral from a past client recently that I closed. And I think we were under contract or something. And we were talking about something with that past client, the mutual friend. And she goes, yeah, we actually met when I came to your client event a year or two ago. And I was like, oh, you're not just a referral. You've been to one of my events and you didn't tell me this until like we're almost at closing. And so you never know you never know how people know about you, for better or for worse.
That's one of our lead sources is events.
Yeah.
Because when we do like events, we welcome whomever. Like when we got to join our park this week, like random people can walk up like, yeah, you want some cotton candy too? Like that's a great time to meet people. We've actually closed already. I can't remember if it was a buyer or seller, but from our client event where we did a photography, they were just like, this is so awesome. They were like, actually, we're looking to, buy or sell. I can't remember which one. We picked up a client that way. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. You never know, man. You really never know. And so are your client events, and sorry, I'll shut up. I'm not trying to dominate this, but are your client events like, hey, bring 1 or 2 friends with you to the client event? Is that, or are certain events like that and some aren't?
We don't. It's just a strictly like a family event. You know, so we personally don't. I've seen people that have done that, but it just naturally happens when you're hosting an event. People are nosy and they walk up, what's going on here? So,
Exactly.
and we welcome them and we chat with them. You know, it's not like at a Durham Bulls game where we're just handing out free tickets or anything, but it's just opens up a conversation, and you know, people want to be a part of the excitement. So fly home with us, and you can come to Durham Bulls game too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
exactly right.
So Andrew, are you telling me I can't come to your event on Saturday because I live like 3 minutes from Joiner Park?
You can come to the event, okay?
Yes.
And y'all have like an insider or like you have like a Facebook group that you love on your past clients too.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about like what y'all do in there? That's something I've been thinking about doing and haven't started yet. So
yeah. So like I mentioned, where we do the monthly contest, that's where that's posted. So we do it's a private Equal Realty Past Client Club, and we invite them whenever they have to close with us. Once they close with us, you know, and not everyone's going to be engaged in that. I think we have like 450 members there. Of course, we have many, many more past clients, but you know, it's a place where we can post about events, you know, things happening within the team, but we do our monthly contest there as well. So it's a place where people engage and just try to keep that top of mind. So whenever they're thinking about buying or selling, or they know of someone, you know, where they go to. It's simple. It's so easy to do. And as far as inviting them, it's in that automated email, that testimonial email that goes out. I say we send 3 emails after closing on there. So it's also become a member of our private exclusive group.
How long into your career did you start that group? Did you wait until like you had a good amount of past clients, or did you do it fairly right away?
So I stole the idea from one of my best friends who lives in Virginia. She has a team there. So here you go, another example of, you know, speak with people outside of your market. It was her idea and I ran with it. So we only started this group not even 2 years ago. So started now. Yeah, we were, you know, a lot of people joined that were much older clients with us because of course we sent out a mass email. I think we also did like an automatic like slide dial to everyone, just saying, hey, join our group, so yeah, start that now, never too soon.
Ashley also asked, she was asking, do you know of any markets that you think that like are a good forecast of what we are about to see in our market?
California, Arizona. No, I don't know. That's a great question. Honestly, I don't know, but I do think we are very quickly like headed towards one of their markets, especially with all the new companies. I heard now Nike is looking for opportunities here. I do think we are going to be in one of those markets where right now it's funny because who was it? Barbara what's the last name?
Cochran or something.
Is that right?
Or,
she actually mentioned Raleigh as being like the best place to almost like invest, but it was still like the prices were reasonable, but I think that's going to shoot like through the market really quick, and I think it's happening. I think Raleigh's going to be one of those super, super busy areas. Kind of crazy. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I don't really know which states that we're following, to be honest with you, Ashley. But yeah, I think things are going to get a little bit, they're going to continue to get crazier. I don't think it's going down anytime soon, personally.
Yeah.
Well, you said that you stay in contact with agents in other markets to kind of get feedback on what they're experiencing. I wasn't sure if it was just, you know, you naturally made friends with people from other areas, or if you kind of sought out like, oh, hey, I know somebody in Virginia. Let me make sure that I'm having that regular discussion.
Yeah. And honestly, and which I probably should do more, the discussions really aren't, I would say, about like the market as a whole, talking numbers and stuff. It's more of like ideas. Like, hey, I'm doing this, you're doing that. Like, let's try, you know, it's more of going off like new ideas, I would say, versus I'm one of those people, honestly, I'm not big into like the news and what's going on and real world stuff, which I probably should be more. So honestly, where their numbers are as far as like their average price point, I could care less. I'm just more of like, okay, how can we build our business, new ideas, that sort of thing. So that's conversations we have. But these people that I've met have been from just like going to different events, right? Like, for example, if you go to, you know, whatever firm you're with, like a Keller Williams what are the events called? I'm drawing a blank. Help me.
Family
Rebecca.
reunion.
Family reunions.
Mega
That's a
camp.
great place to meet people, and then from them you meet other people. So just being proactive about going to those type of like learning events and really getting out there and just chit chatting. Hey, do you mind if I follow up? We can do like a call once a month for all of 30 minutes. Like, let's mastermind together. So yeah. And connect with the Keller Williams and professional guys.
Yes. This group has really impacted my business with getting referrals. So I think, but those in-person events, I think with COVID, everything's been so virtual, and I think people are just zoomed out. So just getting in front of people is super important, I think.
Yeah. And guys, let me say one more thing on that point really fast. Actually, I have people on social media that randomly will reach out to me. I have no idea who they are. Just like, Angie, I've been following you. Like, looks like you're doing like great things, whatever. Do you mind if I pick your brain for 30 minutes? I am 100% always open to chatting with people and just helping in any way possible. So do the same. Like, for the most part, I hope people are very open and willing to share. And so reach out to a random person that you've been following and say, hey, can I steal 30 minutes of your time whenever is good for you? People are happy to help. So it's okay to be proactive about it as well. If you like what you see someone's doing, like ask for guidance and pick their brain.
Absolutely.
Because I do it too. So people do it to me, but I'm doing it as well. There's always someone doing new things, different things, doing, better than you. We can all be growing. So I do it as well. And I reach out to random people.
Yonda asked, I don't know, what do you mean? She asked, do you reward your people for referring you? So I don't know, when you say your people, who do you mean, Kianda?
I think she had jumped in after we talked referrals.
Okay.
Kind of in general.
Just wondering if somebody refers you, like a past client, you send them a gift card, do you reward them so they kind of have an incentive for continuing to refer you?
Yeah.
And if so, what is it?
Yeah. So right now we're sending out the Cheryl's cookies. So we just go online, you put the address, they have a fun little cookie that shows up in their mailbox. Thank you for the referral. For a while we were doing a $5 Starbucks gift card. So it's something so simple. And honestly, if you feel like you don't even have want to or have the money at the moment to spend money, a handwritten note. That's not going to cost you more than a total of $1 with your stamp and everything. Just write a handwritten note. Thank you so much. That goes so far. And then if you want to throw in something that's worth $5, do that. You don't need to go and spend $25, $50. Just it's the littlest touch that you were thinking and you're grateful for them thinking of you. So yes, we thank everyone who sends us a referral, whether the referral turns out or it doesn't. I also am very impactful too with our clients. If I know, for example, someone got married, there's a death, anything like that, we are sending stuff. Hey, random bouquet of flowers showed up at your home, this happened, we are very impactful about loving on our past clients. And I know that means a lot to them because I hear them talking about it then to other people. So be very purposeful about noticing what's happening in their lives. And it doesn't always have to be a happy time in their lives, but they need to know that you're thinking of them. So.
Especially right now, yeah, just making people feel important is important. So
send them a gas gift card.
Yeah, right.
They can use it again finally.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So what advice do you have for new agents? A lot of us are younger or just started our business, or what I guess would be your best advice for a newer agent?
Yeah, you have to put yourself out there. The one thing we always require every agent that joins our team is to create a list of every single person they possibly know, local and even out of state, and they need to email them and they need to call them. So it's awkward conversations, but you let them know, hey, I'm newer in the business. I am very confident that you can trust me with your referrals. Just want to let you know, if you know of anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, whether it be here in the Raleigh Triangle area or in your area, I can help. I'm a member of we always say this, we're a member of a top producing group, and I can find you a referral that is connected in your area. Guys, go on to Lab Coat Agents and interview agents there. So you can refer anywhere. But it's calling anyone and everyone you know, and you ask them for business. Again, you're not saying if you know of anyone, you're saying, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell that I should be in touch with? It means so much if you would, share their contact information with me. So put yourself out there and start calling people, and then call them again. And the way you leave the conversation is if they say no, or they say yes, whatever, you say, hey, would it be okay if I'll call you again next month to touch base again? You're asking for permission, and they're not going to tell you no. So they're going to expect your call. So hopefully they'll be thinking like, oh shoot, like Patrick's about to call me. I need to get a referral this time for him. You want to say, you want them to just always be thinking of you when it comes to real estate. And then it will become very natural for them too, that they'll be out in a restaurant and chit chat. Wait a minute, I have such and such that I can send, I can connect you with. So yeah, first thing you can do is call every single person you know, ask for a referral. Then be very, very proactive on social media. Social media still works like crazy. So start talking about your day. I personally, so we have a business page on Facebook. Honestly, I hate that we do. I just feel like we can't get rid of it. None of our business comes from our business page. It comes from our personal pages. Okay. So chat about, and maybe other people are different, but for us, like once in a blue moon, we'll get a business page like lead. It like never happens. The people that will trust you and want to work with you are the people that know you as a person. So you're posting personal information and then professional information. So that's huge.
I love seeing your little babies. They're so cute.
Use your kids too, to get business as well.
You already paid for them once. Use them as marketing, right?
Exactly. For real. They're expensive.
Guys, we have about 2 minutes and I want to be super respectful of Angie's time. Does anyone have a burning question they didn't get a chance to ask or maybe didn't hear come up in conversation? Feel free to unmute or pop it in the chat box if so with these last couple minutes.
This has been amazing.
Yeah, by the way, if you want a cool background, we have many of them. Go on to Fiverr and they cost all of I think for 3 of them, it was not even $60. So they make cool backgrounds for Zoom.
Nice. Good stuff. All right, guys. I think we're good then.
Thank you so much, Angie. This has been great.
Y'all.
You're a rock star and we appreciate you. So
Ashley, I love the comment you just left there.
I was reading that too. That's perfect.
All right, this is the perfect home.
Right. I've had when my daughter was young, she was going through a home with me and she said something about, it smells in here. And I was like, stop it. Yeah, that's really smart. Train your kids to help yourself.
Thank you, Angie. You're awesome.
Thank y'all.
thank you.
Angie, how do people get in touch with you if they have any follow-up questions?
Sure. So my email is Angie@acolerealty.com. Phone number, my cell is 919-538-6477. And then of course you can find me on social media. Instagram is just the handler, A Cole Realty.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angie. We appreciate your time today. We had a ton of people on here too. This was our best one yet. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank y'all.
You.
Bye.
Sell lots of homes.
Yes.
Yes.
Bye.
All right.